All right, guys. Happy Monday. My name is Brad Miller, and have the pleasure of being with you guys on the healthiest day of the week. We do our health huddle every single week. It's a great way to kick off the week with people all over the country that are moving their health forward. Because just like we've kind of talked about here, and we're all celebrating our first week in the Healthy to the Core group that we're doing to kick off the new year and make this year the healthiest year yet. You know, we're learning how to move things forward and how to celebrate together. So, we're moving on to our next topic, and this is one of the things that I was really excited to cover. So we're into our second week, and I just have to say, I really enjoyed all of the picture posting of everybody's backgrounds of what they accomplished this week, what everyone found interesting in their health journey, what they took away, what they did well, the progress pics. We're all different, and we all come from different goals, and we all have different things going on, but we're also all more alike than we are different. So it just, I don't know. I scanned through those, like all of them last night, and it was just so cool to see how far everyone's coming and how we're starting out this year on the right foot. And just remembering that we're building habits too. So not only are we making accomplishments, but we're building habits on all of these core habits that we're going over. So last week, I'll go over this in a second, but this week we're tackling the habit of healthy motion, the core habit of healthy motion. So I got some cool people sharing tonight, and we're gonna go over cool things on this. So we're into our second week. We're kicking it off. So this is a reminder: if you haven't posted your progress update for this week yet, please do it. Even if you join us a little bit late, 3 days is round up to a week, and just say what you got off to a good start on. So we already went over the bonus topic, which is how to set up goals and how to approach things that you want to accomplish. That's so key. We also last week went over healthy fueling, which is one of the most important foundations of approaching health, is where you start with how you fuel your body. That was from chapters 7, 8, and 9 from Dr. A's Habits of Health. If you do not have this book, I highly recommend getting it. It is a big world changer or game changer on approaching your health. As you're changing your body, you want to change your healthy mind as well. This week, we're getting into healthy motion. It's all over the Habits of Health, but it's mostly from chapters 13 of the Habits of Health. And we're going to go over some of these things today. So just as a reminder, this is just the core of what we're doing here on our 5 core healthy habits that we're focusing on to start the new year, right? Is that we're building new habits. So we're 1 week into building new healthy habits for this year, or improving upon new healthy habits. So it takes 30 days. So we're staying focused on that, but also you can't just get rid of bad habits. You have to replace them with new good habits. So I'm just going to keep reminding you guys of that. So this week we're covering healthy motion. And I just thought it was fun. There was a bunch of different quotes I was going to put in here, but we've heard everyone said this, or some iteration of this, or have heard this. I know I need to exercise more, but ... And we all have that classic example of like killing ourselves at the gym, or et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to go over some different ways healthy motion comes into our life and how to approach it as a core fundamental of health. One of them is building off of one of these slides we talked about last week. This is, again, just some different aspects of looking how to eat for a goal. First, sometimes we're trying to lose weight, and you have to eat a certain way for losing weight. We don't diet, because diet's a word that we really just want to throw out. A diet is what you eat every single day. It's the food you eat and put in your mouth every single day from the time you're awake to the time you're asleep. Then you will focus on moving your health to a next level. After you're done losing weight, or you're focusing on something else, you want to eat for a new goal. Same thing approaches for healthy motion. You want to have this be succinct with what your goal is for different phases of your journey, which Susan LaBelle is actually going to cover a little bit about that tonight and point out kind of how she's transformed her health following that journey. I'm actually going to go back to it, focusing on weight loss first and getting to a healthy BMI, getting healthy motion in, but reaching where you ultimately want to go, and then maximizing and having your eating ramp up and match your healthy motion. You can always increase over time. So just kind of keeping that good parallel of where you're going overall long term. So here's just some places I just want to start out today, and then I'm going to turn it over to a few people that are going to share tonight, is Healthy Motion 101. Exercise, like eating, should match your goals. So if you're thinking of where you want to be, do something that matches getting to your goal. I've heard this one a lot. I really want a 6-pack. I'm going to start running. and not one of those matches. So it's just really funny. So make sure that your exercise matches your goal. So like things that you want to accomplish, or I'd like to see my arms get more defined. So I'm going to do sit-ups. Like just, I don't know, just some things like that. Make sure that your exercise matches the goal you want to achieve. Exercise should be fun, guys. And exercise can be anything. So it doesn't need to be just at the gym or traditional things. Exercise is anything that gets your body moving. If you guys like dancing, dance. If you guys like walking, walk. If you guys like, I don't know what it is you like, but if it gets you moving and you like doing it, that's exercise. So exercise should be fun. It should match your goal, and it can be anything you want. And also additionally to that point, there's also NEAT activity or NEAT exercise, which basically means non-exercise activity thermogenics. It's like anything like parking far away from the store when you go to the parking lot, not parking right up front, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, all those different things that's going to cause you to get more active and add up throughout the day rather than living a sediment lifestyle. So there's also NEAT activity that you can incorporate into your day, not just, actually physically doing a specific workout for a given time. Exercise and healthy motion, it should be sustainable. I can't tell you how many people, and I'm not knocking however you like to work out, but people that are like, oh yeah, I worked out so hard that one time, and then I couldn't move for a week, and then I never started up again. So approach working out as something you can do long-term that's going to fit into your schedule, that you can see yourself doing long-term, just like a habit that's going to be built into your schedule. So when you're starting that motion, is this thing that I can keep on doing and then work into my routine and that I can keep going? So just some more thoughts as I'm kind of just going through this exercise of deciding what exercise is right for you. Exercise should also reinforce your health journey. So like, are you going to a place that's working for you while you're working on your exercise? So if you go to a place where they're all about and encouraging you in your health, then you're getting double return. You're getting healthy emotion in, but they're also encouraging your healthy lifestyle. So just, I always think you should double dip on that. Just another thought. Exercise also doesn't need to be long. You can get really good healthy motion besides like NEAT activity that I covered earlier. You can get that in just in like a good 20-25 minutes could be as a really good way to get healthy motion. Heck, you could even do it in even less than that if you want, if it matches your goal. It does not need to take a lot of time of killing yourself at the gym. So again, I'm just going over a few more things, and it's not something you need to do every day. And it can be something you span out throughout the week. Over a week span, if it adds up, it usually is doing the trick. So, approach it in a way that makes sense for you long term. It doesn't mean you have to kill yourself every day at it when we're talking about a specific exercise. And then the last thing I wanted to put in here for Healthy Motion 101 is, once you get started on activity, on working out or whatever healthy motion you want, you will crave it. Just like you guys are in the motion of your healthy eating routine, you're probably starting to crave it and realize that crave that's there when you're feeding your body right. Same thing that happens with healthy motion. So even if you don't see yourself being right there right now, just know that if you just get started, then you'll probably be at a whole different place in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now. You don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to start to become great. So these are just some ideas that I wanted to share tonight as I kind of kick it off here. And looking at this list, just kind of run these through your head and kind of, if you're focusing on activity for the first time, where does this fit in for you? Or if you're already active, just running this through, are my current activities accomplishing all of these things? Because this is a really good way to approach healthy motion in our life. So with that being said, I'm actually going to turn it over to Susan LaBelle, who was going to kind of share some thoughts of that whole story, because Susan has a beautiful health transformation, and she actually followed a lot of the things I said there to the T. And I just want to kind of give some light to her journey and how it could kind of apply to you guys, because another good habit of health is learning from people that have walked ahead of us. So without any further ado, Susan, were you going to share a little bit about some of the things about your health journey tonight on the topic of healthy motion?
I'm here. Hey guys. Thank you, Brad. And I hope what I have to share speaks to someone out there, because my journey started years ago. As a kid, I was always into health. In fact, for my 16th birthday, I asked for a gym membership because that's what I knew. Brad, I don't know if I've ever shared that with you. And I was always one to work out and thought that was the way. And I found myself, especially in my 20s, really struggling. I ran marathons, like I think back, and at a size 12, they're 14. And it was painful, but when I think back now to why I was running, I used to tell myself I loved to run, but really I wanted to lose weight. for whatever reason, that wasn't working for me. So fast forward to a couple kids later, and I hired a trainer. My daughter was almost 1 and I was not losing any weight. All I knew was to work out harder, like 2 hours a day. So Brad, you mentioned sustainability. I'm like, how am I going to do this with 2 kids? And things weren't matching up. And I had a friend posting on Facebook about this program. And this was something different than I'd ever done. And it was like, all of a sudden this light bulb went off of like, oh, you mean I should focus on nutrition? Like that matters, right? And I realized I've been going to the gym for 15 years. I go consistently, I the same people. And guess what? They all look the exact same 15 years later too. And we're all in the same space. So I'm like, there must be something more to something I've got to do another 23 hours a day of what I'm fueling my body. I was introduced to Take Shape for Life 6 years ago and started to just learn the core habit of healthy fueling. And so it's I love that we focused on that first because that was really step 1. I kind of tried to skip to step 2 for too many years that it wasn't working out for me. So focusing on healthy fueling and really establishing that, learning how to fuel my body day in and day out. And I was able to lose the extra, body fat. And I feel like that's what a lot of us really want. But sometimes we want, we want our cake and eat it too, or whatever. Maybe that's a bad analogy in this circle. But, we want endurance. We want muscle gain. We want fat loss. Like we want it all, right? We want it yesterday. I really had to get focused on what do I want? What's my first and primary goal? And honestly, it was to reduce body fat. So I was really grateful for the 5-in-1 nutritional program where I could focus, honestly, the safest, most efficient way to reduce body fat. And then my workouts were actually better and I was more confident. And it was a phased approach for me to start to incorporate weight training. So you look at this picture of me and I've kind of had to throw the scale out, you guys, because after you can't have a goal of losing weight your whole life, right? You can't lose weight forever. We want to help you reach that initial goal, but then it's what's next. And for me, I wanted to change my body composition. I wanted to firm up. And so it was going to look different. And so my nutrition plan was changed to our 3-in-3 really optimal living program to support my workouts once I reached a healthy weight. And so this is the difference between really, you guys, 6 years here. That's why this picture says things don't happen right away, but remember it takes 6 months to build Rolls Royce and 13 hours to build a Toyota. So it's like really having a vision of what you're building and understanding that some of that just takes time, but the most important thing is we just don't quit. And for me, like changing that body composition over time has just been a slow process, but I've enjoyed the process. It's actually, something I've just really embraced. So I think actually, you know who I'd like to bring on because I know she's on the call, just because we've had this similar conversation. And I think that she has a really great story to share that I think will resonate with some of you. Amber Newman, are you there? And could you just share your journey with your transition into healthy motion and what that's looked like for you?
Yeah, thanks, Susan. You're absolutely right. I can relate on so many levels to your story. So almost 4 years ago, I had given birth to my 4th son and had a friend share with me that she had lost 50 pounds. And as my little boy was about 3 months and I was starting the uphill battle of out exercising the fork like I'd done 3 times before with my other kids, I was like, how am I going to do this again with more kids, a busier life, and get to the gym and make this all work? And that was about the time that my friend reached out to me, and she had lost 50 pounds, and I was super excited to try whatever she was doing because I still had to get the baby weight off, and anything sounded better than kill myself in the gym. And usually it took 2 years, and so it was a long, daunting task. And so sorry, kiddos here. Anyways, I lost 20 pounds in 7 weeks. But what I really have learned through the process is really like that our bodies are built in the kitchen. I know like people maybe have heard that, but it has freed me up so much because I love exercise. But exercise now is purely out of like joy and because I enjoy it. And it's not because I'm constantly trying to outrun what I ate. And I learned that you can eat more than just chicken and vegetables to lose weight because that got really boring fast. And so I just love the simplicity of the habits of health, and what I've learned with the balanced nutrition and the healthy feelings that our program has taught me has just alleviated so much exhausting stress for me. And so, yeah, I love it. Now I just get to exercise for fun, and it's no longer stress.
I love that. You know what? I love what you shared about the punishment. How we should it. And it can be fun, and it can be done in little bursts. Like I don't know if she's on the call. And she planks while her brownie cooks for a minute and 10 seconds. And I love that. That's making it fun. People that do lunges around the house. And Brad, you mentioned a 6-pack. And I will say, you know, if 6-packs if it was easy, we'd all be walking around with 6-packs, right? It takes day and day, you know, compliance and dialed in nutrition, and then supplementing with something fun that just allows our body to move more. And that's what I love, is we get to explore that together, whether it's walking, or if you do love to run, or if it's, you know, like dancing, or if you like to do adult, you know, sports, whatever it looks like. It's just about creating more motion, because motion is important for overall health. But what I've come to learn is it's not how we lose weight, if that's your goal. And I find that 90% of the people that give me a call, that's usually their first and primary goal is fat loss. And so, no, I love it. And just thank you for letting me share my journey. I know we have a really special guest for you guys tonight. We saved the best for last. He's pretty incredible. And he actually has the educational background and works with people here in my local area. I've been to his gym. They're incredible mentors and, you know, and health coaches and business coaches. Candy and Casey are just wonderful people and have really assisted thousands of people to true health in their life. And they really understand the science behind, you know, exercise and nutrition and how those go together. So Casey, are you there?
I am here.
Hey,
Hey.
I'm so excited. I'm going to let you take it away.
Well, thank you for that introduction. I don't know if I like to be referred to as the very special guest, but that's okay. But thank you. No. So what I wanted to talk a little bit tonight about was the FIT principle. And for those of you, if you've heard of the FIT principle before, is frequency, intensity, time, and type. And Amber and Susan both touched on, you know, nobody wants to be at the gym longer than they need to. And what's really critical is that you kind of are systematic in how you start, because that's going to actually create that habit of consistency. So if we're talking about frequency, if you're currently doing no days a week, then obviously adding a day a week would be something, right? And this is after you've added the things like you're going to stand a little bit more in front of your computer instead of sitting, and you're getting your mail out of your mailbox, or you are, you know, taking that furthest spot in the parking lot and you're walking to your location, that kind of stuff. So after that, and that's what we call our total energy expenditure. So that's your typical calories that you're burning throughout the day, right? Total energy. And that's taking into consideration how active you are. Now, if we go, okay, here again, frequency, intensity, time, and type. If you only have 20 minutes, let's just jump into 20 minutes. So your frequency would be maybe 3 times a week. Your intensity might be a heart rate that you're starting with. And we always recommend you go with the least amount to get started, because you can always build into it. If you jump into 7 days a week at the highest intensity that you can, and for the longest time that you can go, you're going to burn out. And you're going to stop seeing results. And the only direction you can go from there is just more. And more isn't going to fit into a normal person's lifestyle. So if we can start out, again, 20 minutes, 3 times a week at an intensity of, let's say, 120 beats per minute, and your type could be any form of activity. It might be walking, it might be Zumba, it might be weight training, whatever it is, right? And then as you start to see progress, you may take that intensity up a little bit. If you don't have room to add more time, take that intensity up. And that's what Brad was talking about. If you have a short period of time, then what you have to adjust is one of those other variables, which would be your intensity. So you can go a short period, higher intensity, and make those adjustments with that. But one of the things that I want to definitely talk about is how to sabotage your total energy expenditure. And what I see all of the time is people who worked out that day, and they might have burned 300 calories on the treadmill, and then they slow down the rest of the day because of that activity. So it's like, hey, I'm not going to get the mail out of the mailbox today. Get one of the kids to go do it because I worked out today. And what happens is, because your workout was your quote unquote, that was your calorie burning for the day, then everything else is kind of like, nah, I don't need to do that. I worked out. I'm going to park at the closest spot because I worked out today. I got my workout in. And as you can see, you're really just creating more of a plateau line across the amount of activity that you're actually doing to increase calories, because you lowered the amount of just normal activity that you did during the day. Or if you're extremely sore, so you wake up the next day and you decide not to move at all, then you've actually probably negated everything that you did the day before because you weren't moving. You're not burning any calories. So that's something. And then the other thing would be your perceived calorie justification. I talk about hunger, and I talk about true hunger and emotional hunger. So if you have worked out and you feel like there's a need because you might have increased lean body mass, and we know that muscle burns 70 to 90 calories just being alive and being on your body, and you have decided that now it's time to increase your caloric need, then is that coming from more, say, lean protein and vegetables? Or are you thinking, I justified that brownie because I worked out today and I burned more calories, right? And that's another mistake that I see people make, is they sabotage their total energy expenditure by reducing their regular activity because of the increased activity. And then, of course, they because they worked out, they're now, it's okay to have that cookie. And this is where that whole you can't out-train your fork comes in. You can't out-work out your fork, because if you've ever done a rowing machine, for example, for calories, it takes a long time to burn off those calories, and you're like going, whoa, I've been working really hard and I burned 10 calories. So when you eat one cookie that has 350 calories, boom, you wiped out most of that workout, unfortunately. So those were the 3 points that I wanted to cover. I don't know if anybody has questions, but those are the 3 mistakes I make. Is number 1, finding your fit principle, getting started with a reasonable plan, fits into your schedule with the right amount of intensity, and then you can always build into it.
Sorry, I thought I was unmuted. Casey, I love it. Such a solid reminder of just kind of the other side of working out, of how our mind goes with it, and kind of hitting on the knee point. So we've covered a lot of ground today, and I'm so glad that we got to have this topic. It sounds like a lot of people are eager to bring on healthy motion. I have to kind of give as we kind of wrap this up, and I'm just so glad that we had Susan share, Amber share, Casey's insight, because you see it from the exercise portion, because you're in a gym almost every day of the week, because you're working out there on different levels, because that's, you own your gym, and that's the mistake you see people see. So I love your fit principle, frequency, intensity, time, and type. That's a really good another way to ask yourself. So going back here on a few things as we kind of wrap up this call today is looking at this real quick. So wherever you're at on the spectrum, we want to cover healthy motion, just because healthy motion is so important to a healthy lifestyle. You may be on one end where you're already kicking butt in the gym. You're doing most workouts that people don't even understand how you're doing it. Some people on this call are like, exercise, that's something I never want to hear or talk about or even think about. Like, I don't even know why I'm still on this call. The point is that either way, wherever you're at, healthy motion just comes into our life. So what are we doing next on it? We've already covered that 80, in case you would argue 100% of what we need to work on comes from nutrition. The rest of this, ask yourself this week, what do I want to keep doing? And does it match these criteria here, or do I want to step it up? Or what do I want to start doing in the healthy motion department? So what's fun for me? What do I like to do? What's sustainable? What matches my goals in my health journey and where I'm at, in the kind of the journey that Susan talked about? What am I doing? Have I ever even thought about NEAT activity? Oh my gosh, what an idea that I can work out when I'm not working out, taking the stairs, taking the long parking lot away, all of those things. Do I like the gym? You know what? Maybe I want to get started in that. Maybe I want to join a group fitness class. Some people on the chat throughout Zumba or yoga. Those are great exercises. They're fun. They're relaxing. Anything that gets you moving. Some people, it's a walk around the park in the evening with their dog or their spouse. Some people, it's gardening. Some people, it's dancing. It doesn't matter. Get your body moving. That's really the key there. And then start building on top of it. And the biggest thing is if you're not moving right now, no one ever regrets getting started on it. And it is a part of your long-term health journey. So as part of a 5-week progress here that we're doing and focusing on the core of health, I'm going to ask you guys this week, what are you doing are going to start doing in your healthy motion? and what are you going to do in that to kind of create a healthy habit? So that's just the thing to be thinking about this week. We'll have another topic on it. We're looking forward to people's takeaways on this. But yeah, check out the chat. There's so many great things. Like, again, I'm just going to go over just a bunch of them that I've heard recently. Yoga is awesome. Zumba. You can do short workouts at home. If you like the gym, go to the gym. Interval classes are amazing. If you like running, if you like doing events like that or training for events, they're great. If you like dancing, get out and dance. Walk around the block. You know, grab a Wii Fit. Get on the video game, believe it or not, and actually get active that way. It doesn't matter. Just find something fun. Frequency, intensity, time, and type. That's what we want to figure out this week, and that's what we want to start working into your group there. If you are looking for something to do at home, Casey actually did make 3 awesome videos that you are very quick, 15-minute things you can do from home with almost no things that you need to work out with if you're just looking to where to get started. So if you need that, reach out to your health coach or reach out to me. I'd be happy to get you. That's a great place to start, but there are so many places to go. So connect with your health coach and just figure out this week, what are we doing to work on healthy motion? Because that's what we're covering this week. So Susan, Amber, Casey, thank you for the great insight. Everyone on the chat who timed in with all the great ideas, thank you for sharing your thoughts in there. We all learn from each other. And with that being said, let's go take on week 2. We've got the core habit of our healthy fueling down, getting better on that. And now we're moving to healthy motion. And Casey was going to give us one piece of last information to close us out. Was that you raising your hand, Casey? Nope. You were saying goodbye. All right. Goodbye, everybody. And for those that are coaches, we have a leadership call with our medical director right now. So we'll hop on over there. You guys, let's get active this week. Healthy motion. Let's do it. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Brad.